Oh, you don't understand. With him, it's like the deepest emotional connection ever.
That's her excuse for her affair with a simp. And now she invites him to our kid's birthday? Zero accountability. And more secrets? Oh yeah. They will pay for this. Let the good times roll. Before we start, show devotion by wickedly smacking the like button.
Warning: the following revenge story will be upsetting to cheaters.
Hello. I've been a lurker here for a little while, trying to process infidelity in my life. Long story short, wife and I have been married 8 years, together few years longer total, 12, and have 2 small kids. This year has been tough and we have had our arguments, but nothing that I would ever think would push my wife to cheat. Anyways, I noticed her lately being distant and being uncommunicative, and decided to confront one evening. At that time, she said that she wasn't happy, and couldn't feel a spark anymore. At first I freaked out on myself thinking I was being a non-attentive husband, truthfully an issue. However, the next day, I caught a very strange message on her phone that was extremely lovey-dovey. I took a look and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time, with lots of I love yous, and plans for a future together. I was freaking destroyed. Anyways, taking the advice of the many threads on here, I didn't confront initially. I actually read as much as I could, contacted a couple lawyers for advice, one now on retainer, and got my head on straight and calm. I confronted my wife a couple days ago calmly, and asked if she was having an affair, and after a couple minutes she admitted everything. Long story short, it's been going on for 6 months. She claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Complete fantasyland, but whatever. To end it all, I gave my list of boundaries, cut off contact with her affair partner, marriage counseling, etc. Shock and keeping our kids in mind, I wanted to deal with this as best as possible before we reached divorce. The thing that I think is the final nail of an honest attempt to reconcile is she got extremely aggravated with cutting off contact with her affair partner. Especially when I told her to do it in front of me. And then she insisted to see him one last time. For closure. I freaking held my ground and told her if he's so important, to pack a bag and go live with him, to which she backed off. But not before she told me I was a controlling prick. Anyways, she sent a text this morning and showed me. But my spidey senses seem to know she is going to try a different means of communication. I'm coming back down to earth from the shock, and started thinking there is no hope, and I honestly don't want it at this point. But I just wanted to be able to tell my kids in 20 years that at least I tried. For them. We have marriage counseling tomorrow. But I'm thinking it's time to file for divorce. Before wasting any time or grief. I'm cautious to move too fast. Because of my kids. But is this the right way to do it?
See him one last time? She really lives in La La Land. She claims, "It's the deepest emotional connection ever." Your wife did not hide her relationship and emotional state. The relationship will go on in secret. Your wife doesn't want to leave her affair partner. She informed him and sent the message you requested. Communication continues on the second phone or at work. I'm assuming her affair partner is a coworker?
Not a direct coworker, but someone she interacts with in her industry. But I agree, this is going to likely continue by another means. Which translates to, it's time to rip the band-aid off. I nearly lost it at the, see him one last time? Yet I kept my cool and said, I'm not the one who made the choice to destroy this family. So you can either abide by my boundaries or leave. She didn't leave. Likely, as someone said, the communication will go underground. But I still have my way to find out.
Pack a bag and go live with him. That's gold. It's funny that if he's the deepest emotional connection ever, then why did she balk when you told her to go to him? That tells me he's trying to sleep with her, but would never actually want to be with her. And a little part of her knows that deep down. call her bluff and get serious about the divorce. I bet she crumbles. I'm sorry you have to go through this.
From the messages I saw, this sack of dung is really laying down the "I love yous" and "let's get married" cheesy one-liners. Don't know if he means it or just gets a thrill from messing with married women. But I guarantee he will get tired of my wife after a month. Looking back, she is a perfectionist pain in the ass. And I know she is going to go back crazy about clean house and adjusting to someone else's day-to-day living routine. I'm going to have a banner made saying, "Deepest emotional connection ever, welcome home," when this implodes on her.
It's great to see someone not be a doormat in this situation. Honestly, good on you for playing it smart. It will be insanely hard. But keep that rage on red hot. Don't let it cool down, because you are keeping your head in the game. You will thank yourself later for this. Your kids will also once they are capable of understanding. I would actually consider keeping the evidence locked away in case she ever tries telling the children a different story, so they can see it with their own eyes. Probably too extreme and not a good parent thing to do, to go that scorched earth and salt the fields.
Thank you. This forum has been a tremendous help. I honestly feel hopeful for my future, and these threads have saved me a lot of future heartache. Wow, this thread got big. Fast. Thanks for the awesome comments. It's been helpful to get validation. I have the paperwork filled out with my lawyer. They just need to process it, and I will have to pick a date to have her served. You are all right. This will not end well if I go the doormat route. Need to think about my future and my kids and move on. The past few weeks, simply put, have sucked. But it's given me time for a lot of soul searching and thinking. As an update from the previous post, the wife and I did attend some counseling after the initial confrontation. I will say this particular counselor has been very good at listening to both of us, and not assigning blame or anything like that, and helping to navigate our new reality. She has also helped to uncover some structural issues in our relationship. And while that doesn't at all excuse my wife's behavior, it's helpful at least knowing and not repeating the same mistakes. As also mentioned in the thread, my wife's initial reaction to my boundary to cut off contact with the affair partner appeared to go unheeded. And I did catch messages between them, before she completely went dark with her chat logs and phone. After seeing that, I decided to file for divorce, and she was served a few days ago. In parallel, I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my father-in-law, as we are super close and I needed to prioritize this support for our kids, instead of our relationship, as I could see my wife wanted to sweep this under a rug. Needless to say, my wife was initially extremely upset, her fantasy was blown up, but our therapist did talk it through with her from my point of view, on why this needed to happen. I saw that's when she has started to realize the consequence of her actions, and started to see there are real things that are going to be lost. From here on out, I'm just trying to process the new life ahead, and the huge change in my identity from a husband and father to something else. Same with her. I will say since I filed, my wife was immediately shocked when I dropped that on her, and she has been very emotional these past few days. I honestly think she thought I would never be able to walk away. I have kept her at arm's length, but I have seen a distinct change in her, and on a positive note, we have talked more, kept our conversations civil and focused on our shared priorities, children mostly. I've made it very clear to her that she left a huge wound in me, and that she has to do the heavy lifting too and give me space and time. I'll say it again and again, her actions are the most selfish, self-centered horrible thing you could do to a person. But I have not lost sight on that we still need to raise our children. And that is my focus point as I navigate to how I will move to the next phase of my personal happiness. I wanted to thank everyone for the previous comments and insight. I am honestly proud that I found the strength to not wallow in self-pity, anger or sadness, and was able to make the right moves to retain my dignity and look forward to a bright future. I honestly don't know all the next moves and my feelings are constantly in flux, but I am starting to feel some inner peace. The process is ongoing and I will give the appropriate update at the right time. My only request is for anyone that has gone through the process, please share any good advice, lessons learned, things you would have done differently or good things to know. The advice in the previous posts have been super helpful, and those that have reached out in other ways have been incredible. Just reaching out in case there is more that can help. Thank you all again.
I am very proud of your progress. You stuck it out and exhausted that route. Yes, she was deep in the affair fog, but she not only broke your boundaries, but also your heart when she told you he was the deepest emotional connection she had. My only advice to you is that you stay this course, at least until divorce. If you want to reconcile after that and you feel it's the right path, then go ahead. But if you don't divorce her and take her back, she and your children will understand that there are some actions that don't have any consequences. Speed this up while she's in the affair fog to help you in the divorce, 'cause you're a catch and a half and she knows it, even if she doesn't show it right now. She will, though, as soon as you've moved on to bigger and better ventures.
Thank you. No, I have no desire to reconcile. It's full speed ahead. I'm awake now. I lost all my trust for this woman. She continues to peddle the idea that our marriage went wrong, and shows no remorse for her actions. Full speed ahead, and I hope she is prepared to live with her choices.
This is outrageous. The deepest emotional connection comment was the deal breaker. You're telling me that you sit on my couch in my house and breathe the same air as my kids, and tell me some dude that's never been in the toilet after you've taken a number 2 is the deepest emotional connection you've ever had? This is absolutely insane. Oh my God, your story just threw away everything I learned during anger management.
Yep, I actually laughed when she told me that. Okay, some dude who is just feeding you what you want to hear is the greatest connection ever? I was in the delivery room for our 2 children and took care of you. But hey, have fun with this.
You are on the right track. Though I will say I think marriage counseling, at this point, is a mistake. You can't work on a marriage without a framework of good faith. You need that as a solid foundation. It takes consistent effort for a cheater to build that, and it's something that needs to be earned. It's just a waste of money to try to do that right after an affair, like putting up walls on a dirt slab. I think the reason why filing brings peace is because one of the things that is stolen from you by cheating is your ability to have agency in your life. You recover this when you file for divorce. Your future is no longer subject to your cheating spouse, who by actions forced you to make uninformed decisions about your future. Filing immediately regains control. I would be prepared for the possibility of a sudden change of heart by her. Affairs have none of the cares of real life. It's very easy to have the best relationship of your life when the only time you spend together is taken up by only the fun stuff. There is also an artificial intensity that the forbidden nature of the relationship builds. That will be gone now as well, and real life has already encroached on her la-la land. She may come running back to you to save her, but honestly, this is more about her consequences and less about her love for you. Also, I think most cheaters mistake intensity for feelings of love. They desperately want to be with their affair partner because circumstances won't let them, and they think this intensity means it's a deep love that they never felt before. Nope, it's just cheap lust. When their marriage is about to fall apart, and they are about to lose the primary person in their life, they suddenly intensely want to be with that person again. But that also isn't love. It's desperation. One of the first things you need to assess is, do they even know how to love? Good luck to you, sir. Continue to be strong. It will serve you well in whatever relationship you have going forward. You will recover faster, too.
This guy gets it. The manner by which cheaters steal their partner's agency is more evil and reflective of their malice than the act itself. She was more than willing to let you live your life in a manner that benefited her at your expense. That's reflective of a complete lack of respect for you, not just as a partner, but as a human being with the right of self-determination. I imagine she had no qualms about having intimacy with you during her affair. If I was being cheated on, I would never want to so much as touch my unfaithful partner, let alone consent to something further. She was more than willing to use you by deception, a concept which is picking up traction nowadays and which should be applied to infidelity scenarios.
Really appreciate this post. I have no doubt my wife is so deep in the fog and the delusion she created that it all needs to naturally implode before she will ever see clearly. I don't discount our marriage could have been a little better, but for her just to throw out and rewrite it all screams massive delusion. I've assessed as of now that in my wife's mind she has moved on, and I have accepted it. My quality of life, if I were to ever take her back, would always be one of me second-guessing her whereabouts or real intentions, and I won't accept that. Time to move on, learn from any mistakes and find a partner who truly cares.
OP, what is the affair partner's status? Married? Single? Can you blow up his world? As for your wife, she is full-on addicted on the fog dopamine. At some point, reality will strike her and she will come begging back. Prepare for that, otherwise I am duly impressed at your character and it will serve you well.
Twice divorced, single 47-year-old pos. My wife is 35. Objectively doesn't seem to have his life in order. Therefore can't really blow up his world, and want to hold off anything until divorce paperwork is finalized. I have a feeling in the next few months, the fantasy will wear off. I think for her this was an escape from screaming children, the routine of our lives, wake, work, sleep, and it was exciting and dangerous and out of character. With that gone, it will lose its luster. I also fully plan on using this time to become a better man, get healthy, get into incredible shape, be the best dad I can be. Maybe attract a lovely lady or two, to show this catch is not available anymore, at the appropriate time of course.
Be prepared and have someone of your support system on quick dial is the only real advice I can give you. It will take a bit of time until this whole process will be done, and a multitude of things can happen in that time. Most likely stuff like her telling people that she cheated because of you. The fog of her affair ended, and she asks for a second chance, or she tries to hurt you in some kind of way. There are many things that can happen until the process is done, but for most of them, you can be prepared by having a go-to reaction when you see her. A clear way to behave when interacting with her, at best Grey Rock, and knowing who you can reach out to when you feel troubled. Be consistent in what you do, and no matter what she says, does, or whatever, never make a decision on the spot. Tell her that you will think about it and that you'll reply in 3 days in case that she asks you for something.
Great advice, thank you. I have a lot of great people I can reach out to. I'm just also careful not to wear out my welcome too much. Your point about her telling people. She is clearly worried about appearances and wastes no time to mention that I played a significant part in our bad marriage, and her unhappiness is just as bad as the cheating. I have refused to accept this as a reason for her to cheat, but I guarantee she is playing that card to her friends, family, etc. At this point I've already told the most important people on my side and hers. I will just let the chips drop where they will for now, and let my character speak for itself and how I treat my kids. Her friends, I could care less, all secretly miserable anyways. Thank you for the great advice. Hi everyone. As of today, there is some closure coming my way in my saga that started over the summer and have been posting, getting advice from everyone here. I just want to start off and thank this community for the incredible support and advice, especially to those folks who privately messaged and offered words of wisdom along the way. This is a crappy process to go through, especially when close family is far away. It sucks to be alone with your thoughts, but there is some wisdom and introspection to gain during this. Anyways, the past few months have been frosty but relatively drama-free, as the soon-to-be ex-wife and I separated our lives in the house, but still did things for our children. The discovery and mediation process proceeded pretty quickly. We agreed on 50-50 for our kids along with schedules and holidays, and since it's a no-fault state, asset division was by the book with some give and take. I won't go into details too much at this time, maybe another post in the future, but I will be finding a place soon for a fresh start. The final conclusion is on the horizon, but for the most part, the divorce is complete. As for my advice from this whole fiasco, I learned a bunch of things. 1. Don't bother with a pick-me dance. I tried for a week before wising up to her cheating. My ex is still in the fog, but it's her decision. She needs to live with it. 2. Do lawyer up with an experienced family law attorney, who is reasonable. I can't say enough of the person who took care of me, understanding that this is what I want. versus reality, was important in converging to the end. I don't have any crazy ridiculous fees, as I did a lot of the prep and avoided hours and hours of back and forth, and this was able to be settled rather quickly. 3. Do lean on friends and family for support as much as possible. 4. Working out and exercise is key to keeping your mental health. I hit the weights a month after D-Day, and I'm starting to reap the benefits, and that confidence has been helpful to get across the finish line. 5. Get into individual counseling and talk with someone. This has helped me tremendously. 6. I realized this from all the advice I got. Remember that the cheater's decisions are all on them. I heard it all from my ex-wife. I was a roommate. I love you. But not in love. Our marriage went so wrong. I worked too much. Blah blah blah. Truth be told, now that I know the timeline, our marriage went wrong after she invited someone in her life that was feeding her lines to stroke her ego and give her extra attention. And she had to put up walls and make me the bad guy to justify this in her mind. Sure, she may have been stressed from kids and day-to-day life in a long-term marriage, but not communicating to her husband and confiding in an old fart, two-time divorcee and cheater with no moral compass is all on her, and a recipe for disaster. The exciting final chapter of this Captain Old Man Sacknuts affair partner is yet to be written. I'll call him OMB, fits him better. Poor choices carry consequences. That's all I will say on the matter. Again, thank you to everyone. I still have a lot of work ahead, but also many adventures in this new chapter of my life. I hope I can return the favor to anyone who needs it. Please reach out if anyone needs a helping hand. I am here.
Royal AI.
Hello fellow members of the club. Nobody wants to be in. As of today, the official decree went out and I am no longer married. I also picked up the keys to my new house, and will start the process to move ASAP. I did choose to take a buyout, as I felt it was best to start fresh in a place of my own to make new memories, and I really got lucky. I found a nicely kept up house barely a minute away from my current home, huge fenced in backyard, wood fire pit, big garage and primo location. I also back up to a nature preserve, and as I'm an avid outdoorsman and biker, I have a gateway to my own little paradise. Some will ask why so close? Well, I want to be close to my kids, because they need to know their dad is close by, for when they need me. Thanks to the advice of this community, I kept my mind focused on what was important. Started a workout program, and also dove headfirst into a new career opportunity that recently paid itself dividends. I have not bothered with online dating or seeking out a new partner, and will likely enjoy the single life for a while. I have my 2 little kids to prioritize, and fully plan on focusing on them and my personal growth for a while. As for my ex and her affair partner, I started to let go of the initial hatred aimed at that disaster. Whatever happens will happen, and I will take their losses as a bonus to laugh, but it's no longer my concern, and as someone eloquently said before, when someone gets with somebody who cheated on their spouse, they are getting someone who cheated on their spouse. I did my best as a husband and father, and it's time for someone else to appreciate it. Thank you all for the messages, advice, well wishes and so on. My life has depended on this so much these past months, when I didn't have very many close by to turn to. For those that are at the very beginning of this crap deal, please keep putting one foot in front of the other, and surviving every day. I'm not an expert in life, but I'm also willing to lend an ear to those who need it. Good luck y'all. Hello all. I wanted to give a quick update, especially to those folks who just went through their D-Day, and are worried about what life may be like. I'm 6 weeks post-divorce, and I have moved into my new place a month ago, working like a madman to get it set up into my sanctuary. I finally have it well furnished and it started to feel like home. My home. My kids have now been over many times, and the rotation is working well. I've read many times here that kids are resilient, but until you see it firsthand, it is worrisome. I'm happy to report they are handling things pretty well, and we have our own fun moments at Dad's house. They told me many times they love being over. As for me, it's initially been weird having some newfound freedom, but I found making to-do lists and keeping daily weekly and long-term goals, is helping a lot. I was initially sad, but keeping busy keeps that away. I'm focused only on self-improvement at the moment. I have thought about putting myself back in the scene, but truthfully, have no interest in that. So I'm keeping focused on home improvement, fitness and my kids. Someone commented on one of my posts that getting out of the house was like being underwater for too long, and then finally coming up for air. They were right. As for the cheating ex, I keep it cordial, but that's it. She tries to insert herself into decorating my new home, offering help and tips. Even asked if I need a place to stash a spare key, and she's there for me if I need anything. I don't engage, and kindly reject every offer. I only communicate with her when it's about the kids. No lovey-dovey sign of the greatest emotional connection affair partner yet, and I don't ask. But who cares? Last night I sat outside, had a few beers and a cigar, and enjoyed the peace and tranquility of my property. Then thought about getting the heck away from the situation my ex put me in, was the best thing. To those at the beginning and doubting leaving, I get it. You might tell yourself it's best for the kids, so you might think reconciliation is better. It's definitely not. It's a tough decision and heartbreaking, and also a kick in the junk. But making the decision to eject a cheater out was the only right decision, and I only feel with time it only gets way better. Little side note added to this update. In the past 6 months there hasn't been any sign of remorse, regret, sorry or anything. I know the answer, but I find it nuts my ex-wife together for 12 years, has zero anything. Is she such a raging, unemotional narc, that she can't feel anything? Is the fog really that powerful to make her delusional? I am still shocked even after these months of introspection, how one can be disposed of so callously. Curious to hear others' experiences. In the meantime, cold beers in the fridge and fire pit to be lit.
Usually they do not. Most cheaters are extremely narcissistic, and most narcissists operate under this bizarro reality distortion field, where they see themselves as the victim. Yeah, always. If anything, she's probably expecting you to feel guilt and remorse. The lack of empathy is one of the main components of the trauma, as it's shocking. We project who we are in order to make sense of the world. So you're projecting how you would behave if you were to do something similar. So you would clearly feel some level of remorse or guilt. Thing is, you would never do it, cheat, in the first place. It will only hit her if things get rocky with her affair partner, and she needs another dimwit to supply her with attention and support.
I remember in counseling my ex said her pain for the past 2 years was just as bad as cheating. I was taken aback, especially as I didn't know she was so sad or whatever. No doubt it will take some crap going down with her affair partner to feel the consequence of her actions.
From your post history, it is clear she is working very hard to remain the hero of her own story, so that she can avoid these kinds of negative feelings. Hence the desire to remain friends, decorate your home, have a key, be there for you. She needs these so that she doesn't end up the villain of her own story. This is why it is so important to deny her these things. She may be able to maintain this narrative to herself indefinitely, but that is not likely. As the reality of 50-50 settles in, and the affair partner takes no interest in the kids while you shut her out, it will begin to break down.
Well stated, and yes, it still is clear she is trying hard to want to be friends and act like she will be there for me, but I have not allowed her to have that. I have no doubt once reality sets in, that it will be a hard hit. I will only be there to make sure my kids aren't in the blast area.
Yes, the fog is as powerful as a drug. Once hooked, they just want more and can't get enough. They will risk everything for more: home, family, job, and of course, you. While some cheaters who want to reconcile may be sorry about what they did, or how they went about it at first, I don't believe they are sorry years later. Just sort of gets swept under the carpet. Remember that they didn't care or respect you enough to not cheat on you. So there lies your answer. They don't care how it affects you. One day, one of them will cheat again. If they will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. Is true in most cases. That may take a while. In the meantime, continue your new life. And be glad you don't have a cheater in your life, as any more than a co-parent.
Maybe I'll never understand it. Even women I was super infatuated with during my younger years, boosted by testosterone. I still wasn't crazy enough to do irrational things for them. I'll accept that some people are just crazy, irrational. Just nuts considering those previous years before this. My ex loved me, and treated me so well. The light switch effect is just shocking. Well, since OMB cheated on his first wife, then on his second wife and the girlfriend after that. Those two are a good match though. Because my ex cheated on her fiancé too. Not with me. She confessed to this during marriage counseling. Funny thing is that it came up as a counter-argument from her side, when I reacted disgusted when she shared that OMB cheated on this level, and she tried to play it down, and confessed to her cheating history.
So, her affair partner cheated multiple times, and even on the two women he married, and she thinks that she is different to him, as a cheating leftover wife with two kids that aren't biologically his. Wow, that's hilarious.
I'm not making this up at all. Heck, OMB was being with that girlfriend after wife number 2. This was his affair partner back then. They got into a relationship, but then he met my wife, and cheated on his girlfriend. With my wife. Indeed, mother of 2. Worst part is, she knows this. Yet she keeps saying that they are in a kind of special love like nothing before? Try to make this up. Hi all. I'm almost at the 6-month mark past divorce, and nearly to a year past D-Day. It's been cathartic to post, but I know a lot of folks have followed my journey, commented, messaged, given hope, and are personally invested. Some even posted along the journey, to give the unfortunate new folks here some ray of light, that despite the darkness you have stepped in, there's proof of another side. I hope I can continue to help in whatever small way I can to anyone in need. I greatly appreciated the support I got and in kind. Would always love to return the favor. On that note, 6 months past D-Day and there is a lot of positive news. My house is furnished and a home. My kids are now more comfortable in the routine and love coming over, and have made some neighborhood friends. I am beyond thankful that the little ones managed this process so well, and they understand there is dad time and mom time, separated, without complaints or tears. Outside of them being here, I have immersed myself into a crap ton of home improvements. The house I moved into was occupied by an older, divorced gentleman, and some stuff got left to the wayside. I look at it as an opportunity to make it my own. Along with that, I furnished a home gym in my house with everything I need and can say I'm getting my workouts and boxing in, at least 4 times a week. My body is getting back to where it needed to be, and I'm noticed being mentally sharp consistently. Through this whole ordeal, I also went through a major career change internally, to where I kept working and somehow managed to not mess anything up, and instead have gotten a raise and plenty of exposure to get my career trajectory moving up. I've kept my situation private for my job, and nobody know yet. Yes, I still struggle daily with my mental health and focus, but I manage it with therapy and workouts, and I'm really doing great. I think less and less of my ex-wife each day, and each day is more of a relief. As for her, well, she is still in La La Land. But I can say we co-parent decently well. I do gray rock the heck out of her, let's be friends, but keep it strictly to kids and nothing else. Nothing, even when she tries. So it's been cordial. I'm sure anyone who has followed my story has wondered about the saga of OMB. All I can say is the world's greatest love story hasn't flowered yet. My kids made me aware that OMB recently has been around their house, in small capacity. I have to laugh a little as it's now 6 months past D-Day, and they are still sneaking around. Great hallmarks of a long-lasting, trusting relationship, guaranteed to stand the test of time. I've come to terms that whatever is going to happen, will happen, and at this point, I am lucky to be away from a person that is willing to lie to their most trusted partner's face, and not feel an ounce of remorse. On my end, I have a solid chance at building an even better life than before. Good riddance, and good luck. Anyway, that's all. And yet another big thanks to all sending rays of hope. I will keep updating and supporting as always.
Congratulations on your progress. I remember on one of your previous posts that the ex wanted to be friends, be there for you, and help you furnish and decorate your home. I'm glad you didn't give in and said, screw that. You have made your house your home, for you and your kids. She should never be allowed to even enter your home, much less help decorate it. Ugh, she really is in La La Land. Good on you for moving on. Keep up the good work. It can only get better from here on out.
Good memory. Actually, I had an interior decorator come in as well, and give an outline of how best to decorate, which was money well spent. My kids love their rooms, so I'm happy. As for her in La La Land, I'm still intrigued as most of you are. But I try to let go personally, but then some of you send me questions I didn't even think of, concerning them. And I think of the mental gymnastics they go through, in order to keep the weirdness going. I don't mind sharing though, but no, I'm not fixated on them. It's not my circus anymore, and I hope it does continue to get better.
It will get better. Not my circus, not my monkeys, is one of my favorite sayings. Keep us updated on your progress. As for the cheating ex, remember the goal should be indifference. Gray rock metaphor is perfect, like you mentioned. It shouldn't matter to you if they live happily ever after, or crash and burn. You will arrive at what I like to call the nirvana of meh. Continue to heal and embrace these next chapters of your life. I wish you all the best. You have made great progress in just 6 months. Imagine where your life will be in a year, 18 months, even 2 years.
I gave you a well-deserved gold award. Your actions and reaction decisions were based on good common sense and strict decision-making, qualities that are lacking nowadays. Unfortunately, you quickly seized and maintained the upper hand during this whole sequence of events. Thank you for keeping us so well informed. Also thanks to those who have been giving you stellar advice. You are quite articulate, and that is a gift that will serve you well during your lifetime. I'm sure that we will be looking forward and sharing with you your new experiences. Sadly, your ex has lost a gift that she will regret losing for a lifetime.
Awesome, and thank you very much. I have appreciated your comment and great advice thus far. I know for a fact I wouldn't be so far along without advice like yours, and likely still playing the pick-me dance, or in a worse spot. I'd like to think the future is bright, and I will continue sharing my life lessons learned. Smart men learn from their mistakes, but wise men learn from other men's mistakes.
I'm fairly new to Reddit, so I had to read your backstory. I find it very curious about your ex in OMB, and how you really haven't seen him around. Now I'm not trying to stroke your ego, but I think the truth is that she realizes she traded down. I think the greatest emotional connection, emotional fairy tale excuse, maybe something she even tells herself to rationalize the downward choice she made because it's so illogical. That would also explain why she seems so intent on trying to be friends with you. I also think that you pulled the trigger on divorce so fast and so surely that you forced her to pick him when she knew he was second best. I think the true litmus test of whether I'm right or not will be one of two things. One, if OMB dumps her or does something she can't overcome. Two, you start seeing someone and start getting close to this new woman. My ex was living with a guy and yet pounded on my door at 2 a.m. because she knew I had a girl in my apartment. Within 6 months, she came to a house I was renting that I had decorated spectacularly and threw herself at me on the sunroom floor. Last time we were ever intimate, though, I was living the single life and figured,
Action is action. As a final thought, about a year after that last encounter, I met the love of my life. We have now been together for 20 years, and the ex lives alone in a nearby not-so-great town, known for activities from Breaking Bad, if you know what I'm saying. I will keep following your story. Keep us updated.
This is an astute comment, and I think I can share something that supports it. We had a long talk a couple days after signing our settlement agreement, and she admitted to being scared around D-Day, manipulative BS. I then said, if you were so scared and sad, why did you continue to go to OMB, instead of cutting off all contact? And legit trying to be remorseful and show me by actions that you were scared? Her response was, well, he made me feel loved. So yes, I agree. I forced her hand to go that way, and on top of it, she just chose the lazy way out. I have no doubt in my mind once the shiny veneer wears off, he will likely cheat. If they cheat with you, they will cheat on you. If I didn't mention it before, OMB has cheated on his ex-wives. You heard it correctly. Both of them. He also cheated on his then new girlfriend, after divorcing wife number 2. So if his true self will show, she will see what she traded everything in for. As for another woman, that time will come. For now I will enjoy whatever comes my way, while enjoying the peace and simplicity. I do want to thank you for taking the time to go through my backstory and comment. It means a lot when folks take the time and then respond with advice and a backstory themselves. Well wishes your way. Hi all, OP. Here, hoping you can help me. I have something to get off my chest for those that remember my saga. I've been progressing well and I have some big updates coming soon, as I like to post positive things in my journey to help others. But for now, I'm in need of advice. Background. My daughter's birthday is coming up this weekend. I already celebrated last weekend with my family and had a small thing, nothing crazy. And my daughter loved her presents and cake. Well, the ex-wife is having her usual, look at how awesome I am, party this weekend. I did get an invite, but I just found out the other day that good boy OMB is confirmed going to be there. I called out my ex-wife, saying this was a pretty crappy thing to do, but she didn't reply. Better yet, the ex-wife's co-workers, family and friends who knew about the affair will be there too. And the party is at my old house. Enemy territory. This is just horrid overall, as it's my daughter's party after us divorcing. And I can't help but feel it's a setup, with bad intentions stinking all over it. This is a lose-lose for me. And after talking with some other supportive members here, this feels like entering a pit of vipers. The only thing I can think of is going in dressed well, fresh haircut and showing off my new physique. Hey, I've been doing the work, and staying a little while. But either way, I don't like this. I feel this is super manipulative of the ex-wife. She knows exactly how she is playing this, and wants me to do something petty. Any advice is appreciated.
Don't go. You already had your party with your daughter and celebrated with her, and it sounds like she enjoyed it. That's all that counts. Tell your ex-wife you don't associate with homewreckers, plural, and you'll separate the parties from now on to avoid cross-contamination. I've experienced this. We immediately started doing separate holidays and birthdays after my ex left. I'll be goddamned before I hang out with the degenerates she's with now. What she does on her time is her choice. And you have no obligation to participate if you already had a party with your daughter. They always cheat down, that's for sure. Anybody that would be with someone knowing that they're in a relationship is a downgrade. No matter what they look like, trash is always trash.
Yep, OMB pursued knowing full well my ex-wife was married with kids. He is a serial cheat. The worst part is my in-laws accepting him too. So fast. Just speaks to their character.
I went through the same thing 2 months ago. I had a weekend with my son alone, and we celebrated his birthday together. On his actual birthday, the affair partner was watching him blow out the candles at my old house. My advice is don't go. In my situation, I felt like that was exactly what she wanted. Shame on that woman for putting a perverted affair partner above her own child.
Thanks for sharing that about your son. I agree wholeheartedly. But I'll make something extra special for my daughter on her real birth date.
Do you really think her inviting you is for your daughter? She wants you there to show to all that her cheating is forgiven and that she's such a wonderful human being. She is definitely looking for you to attend to tacitly put your stamp of approval on her not being with you anymore. Plus, if you at all react badly during the party, you will be proving her right. Don't go. Don't even bother responding to her invite.
100% this is for her. I show up and be nice, and everything is all cool. I blow up and look like a hothead, and OMB can look like a hero. Or, I just don't go, and everyone can think to themselves that I must really hate ex-wife, and do not approve of any of this BS.
Talk to your daughter, and say that Mommy and Daddy are divorced, so you'll be having separate parties from now on. Say, "This year, Mommy has you for your birthday, so I won't be there, but we can go for a birthday ice cream the day before, since I'm sad I won't see you on your birthday." Then take her and a friend or two to a trampoline park, and add lots of ice cream. If in the future you wish to host the party, when it's your turn to have her, on her birthday and invite her mother, you can do that, but you never have to have anyone in your space that you don't want. You're divorced. Your family is divided. It's not your fault. Oh, if your ex is upset, she can suck it.
I love this comment. Thank you.
Find your hottest, long-legged friend. Tell her to put her A-game on and go to that party. It would be awesome if you could show up with a Margot Robbie twin on your arm. Tough situation for sure. Honestly though, I would not attend if you already had your own party for her. You've done your part.
While I would normally agree with this, his daughter will be there, and it's her big day. If Dad shows up with someone with the express intent of causing a problem with the ex, that's going to make him look like a fool and could ruin her party. I'd say best to decline the invite and not add to any drama that could impact his daughter.
Agreed. I'm also not for the bring a hot date thing. I get it and it's fun to fantasize and laugh here on Reddit, but it's the wrong venue. And it's all about my little lady.
You should go. Support your daughter. Show everyone you are living your best life. Be gracious and kind to everyone. Shake the affair partner's hand. Show everyone that this doesn't bother you. Essentially gray-rocking them. This will drive them crazy. Stay an appropriate amount of time, then leave. I bet you they will be nagging to everyone on how smug you were. This is about your daughter, not the two sick, damaged souls. It's awful she's using your daughter as a piece in their twisted game. Good luck, and the best to whatever you decide.
Hey, thank you for the advice. If I do go, I do agree with the being calm and gracious. I don't want to give any ammo. I can't shake the affair partner's hand. That's something I'll calmly turn down. But yeah, I'm sure no matter what I do, I'll be the losing party. But better to be the calm one. And not the crazy one. As for the juicy update, well, this is a good one. So, I initially told the ex-wife that I'd be joining. What I didn't do was tell her I changed my mind. I waited until Saturday morning to pop by the house and drop off my daughter's card and present. Well, unbeknownst to me, the kids were dropped off at Grandma and Grandpa's house for the morning. And as I drove up into the driveway, in my new sports car I may add, I saw none other than OMB's turd wagon, parked on the side of the road. I strolled into the backyard quietly, happy with a huge smile and ready for anything. And surprised both the ex-wife and OMB, as they were putting up decorations. The look of utter terror was on both their faces. And I kid you not, OMB didn't look me in the eyes. Not even once. All he said was,
Oh, hey man!
Honestly, When I looked at both of them, I didn't feel anger, but just a sense of sadness. This feeling you get when someone lives through tragedy. Like, how sad you both are. Is that growth? Good luck together. I kept my composure and said, I'm here to give my daughter her present, but I won't be joining. The ex-wife was shocked, emphasizing that I must be there for the party. I asked where my daughter was and she told me, to which I walked back towards the driveway. The ex started frantically trying to think of anything. She wasn't acting, but visibly disturbed while I kept walking, and I swear, in the nicest voice I have ever heard in my life, she darn near pleaded for me to join. I said, thanks but no thanks, I will go to your parents' place to give my daughter her gift, and parted ways. I did give a, hey see you later bro to OMB. Before strolling out head held high. Not more than 3 minutes later, I got a phone call from the ex-wife. Again pleading to come to the party, but I politely refused. A few minutes later, I dropped off the gift, went into the ex-in-laws for a few minutes and played with my kids, and said my goodbyes, all very kindly and not mentioning the situation. As for me, I kept myself busy tending to my house. I got a good workout in, much needed after a break, and I went out on a date. Ultimately it was kind of a bust, but she was nice, and at least it was a distraction. My daughter called me today and thanked me for my gift, but she didn't ask why I wasn't there. So like everyone said, she was so busy she didn't pay attention. So, there it is. I know if I would have went, I would have set myself back a ton. And for nothing. Instead, she told everyone I'd be there. And with me a no-show. And OMB there, I'm absolutely certain people put 2 and 2 together on why. Now, I can go about my weekend not feeling like I'm mentally exhausted and do some fun things. Thank you again everyone.
You handled this like a pro. Well done. Your child knows that you love them, and that is all that matters. Don't resign yourself to participating in the parties your ex throws. You make your parties, and they will be better.
Best revenge is a laugh well lived. I think you deserve a weekend in Paris. Then post that everywhere into your circle. Your ex wanted to have the friend vibe going on. You treated her like a used to know. Awesome for you. Do cool things with your kids and keep on trucking. One day, you'll hear from someone how she regretted what she did. By then, you'll be with someone far better and who's great with your kids. Then your ex will get to understand what it's like having someone else be a mother figure in her kids' lives.
I have some cool upcoming adventures, especially with my kids. The good times will roll in for sure.
She wanted to make it seem like you two were all good, so she doesn't look bad. Good for you. She is probably also trying to force this "we'll all be friends for the kids" thing to alleviate her own guilt. Although unspoken by OP, she knows she is the reason her kid's father wasn't at their kid's birthday, and she had to own that. Then everybody at the party got to see it, while the bundles of joy played around in the background. The grown-ups got to see and sense the stink of her betrayal following her while she attends the birthday visitors. OP, this is a jackpot for you.
1000%. This was not about a father being invited to his daughter's party, but a father being invited to make a pair of cheaters look good. No, thank you. Let's do the opposite.
No, wait. Look at this more closely. Trust me, it's more than just that. She was looking for ultimate revenge.
It's exactly what it felt like. A good way to rub it all in my face. And have her family and coworkers watch and enjoy the show. No, thank you.
Bravo, brother. One of the very things cheaters never expect is how little to nothing they truly are. Your ex expected you to be a drooling mess, begging and pleading for her leftovers. Then you showed her you are better than her, because you deserve better. I bet your daughter seeing you before the party and getting to play with you was the best surprise. I'm glad this turned out in your favor. You gotta have a special moment with your daughter. And she opened her present in front of you. None of that would have happened at the party. It would have been chaotic with constant tension from everyone attending. hoping for drama. I bet she was going to use this to showcase how her decision was for the best and see you approve too, validating her lies covering over her insecurities, while you're still walking in rhythm to her perfectionistic agenda. I know these kind of people, and I can assure you that that day must have aged her by months. At least, well played, OP. This is how you achieve indifference, and that will bug the frick out of her. I guarantee you, she'll take in bonus ego hit thinking, why isn't he more upset? Am I that easy to move on from? You rose from the ashes like the phoenix you are. Keep soaring high, bud.
Thank you, and yes, my daughter was super surprised when I showed up at the grandparents' place. I think I played this as best as I could, and got a bit lucky too. I would have been a clown prop and I'm sure persona non grata if I tried to talk to some of the folks there. No, thank you. A lesson I learned was, never go somewhere where you aren't wanted. Her ego got hit drastically. I know my ex-wife is insecure. I'm sure she never anticipated me having the balls to take stock of the situation and bug out of her strict plans. That alone has to have hurt her self-confidence. Typing it down doesn't make me happy though. It makes me sad to say that. I always tried to lift her up, but she stomped on my heart in the worst way. I won't lift her up anymore. Hey everyone. This is going to be a short but rather humorous update to my previous posts. The outreach was incredible. Thank you all for your advice, and I'm still smiling from the rope-a-dope I pulled last week. I've had a really good week since then. Anyways, here is your Friday humor. Some background. Since after D-Day, if those that have followed my saga may remember, my in-laws dropped me like a hot potato. I get it, blood is thicker than water. However, I have had one member of the extended family reach out, and we regularly hang out. He is truly a man of character. Well, I got a text on Saturday during the party saying,
"Hey man, let's grab some beers this week. Your presence is missed here."
Fast forward to the other day. We meet, start consuming beers, and get down to business. He first starts of talking about the awkward, scheisse show the party was, with people clearly looking at their feet at the situation. Apparently, OMB was not introduced to anyone. My ex-wife was deliberately apart from him during the party, and was mostly directing him on things to do. The in-laws didn't bother to talk to him, and sat with themselves looking pretty annoyed. He clearly was a fish out of water. Whenever my ex didn't micromanage him, he went inside most of the time and avoided most everyone. Between the in-laws like aunts, uncles and cousins, quiet comments brew about this strange man, and how this is pretty classless and indecent. The longer it went on, the stranger it became, and the elephant in the room became so big, it was best to not mention it. I swear, I'm heading toward indifference, even though I understand it doesn't sound like it. But common, when life gives you lemons, right? I got teary-eyed from laughing. My absence was well understood. My earlier gift giving to my daughter was also known. So it seems like the family had full understanding of my absence. Mission accomplished. Anyways, that is my Friday humor present to you. For those new to your own bad situation, I cannot stress enough of taking the high road, acting with dignity and class, and just moving toward living the best life. It's not always the most satisfactory course of action, but like weight training, the results take time but are worth it. Happy Friday, y'all.
You did the right thing by not attending. The party was for your ex, not your daughter. Blood is thicker than water, but she is obviously getting pushback from her family. It seems they will be keeping it mostly behind closed doors. Good, let the filth ferment amongst them. I think this party really backfired on your ex. Enjoy the crap show from the stands, and keep bettering yourself as you have been. You were definitely served a crap sandwich that you correctly decided not to eat. You have literally handled this about as great as possible. Ex-wife will almost certainly come begging to patch things up once she is fully out of the fog and gets over her personal pride. She screwed up royally. But like you said, she cheated on her past fiancé, and you didn't know and couldn't see the damage under the paint and bodywork. Be certain to find a younger and better-looking woman than your old lady.
Indeed, the party was for her bad intentions. That part saddens me the most, but my daughter still had a great time, oblivious to the crap show my ex-wife started. That's all that matters to me. I forgot to add this to this post. During my discussions, I fed back to the buddy about my dating experiences. I have had quite a few dates with a lot of women, most of them obviously just first dates, or not serious long term. I made sure to feed in enough that it should circulate some new info back. This will be fun. Update coming soon, because there is some good news on the romantic front brewing.
Well, that relationship is doomed to either fail or be miserable for eternity.
How can you say that? You don't understand. She said it was the greatest emotional connection ever. How dare you doom this once-in-a-lifetime love connection with old man baldy nuggets? OP is definitely winning if he is finding indifference. Just watch when the process is complete, as your vibe will change and she will notice. That is probably when she might decide that she made the biggest mistake of her life with OMB.
I know there is going to come a day when that happens, but I'll be too busy driving my sports car, going on holidays exclusively with just the kids, so they can share all about it, and chasing after ladies to care. Especially these past few months, I've come to appreciate my newfound single life, and I have a feeling it's starting to eat at my ex-wife. I didn't choose this life, but I sure as heck will enjoy it. Will she know? She will hear of it. I made sure to feed my exploits to my trusted ally. There is a path that will get back to the ex-wife for sure, if she doesn't see it online.
I've been following your story. You are looking really good up there on the high road. I can say the petty in me was beyond delighted at the thought of him being totally startled when the younger and fitter ex happily strolled into the backyard delivering birthday gifts. Instant deflate on the party mood. He also most definitely noticed your ex's tone of voice, asking you to please come. Although I'm betting she hid to call you right after, and he noticed that too. To follow this up with her obvious distance and lack of introductions at the party, until he fled inside, truly emphasizes every insecurity he carries. He has been anticipating meeting you, and expected the day to be one where he has both home field advantage and your ex's very obvious favor. Instead, he had it driven home to him that he is the total downgrade. To her, to the party attendees, her family, and most of all, you. A man not worth anyone's effort. He expected to be the quiet star of the day, as your ex ensured everyone knows how happy he makes her, validating this with family or friends in close ranks around him, since they've been polite so far in small gatherings. You were supposed to be the miserable ex who helplessly watches as her friends, and her family publicly embrace him in your place. Talk about completely deflated and out of place. Her tone of voice was a crack that just got bigger as his rejection continued throughout the party. I must have a black heart to be enjoying this old pig's humiliation this much. Hers too.
You have a wonderful way with words, and the way you put to paper how the tide turned is just a masterstroke of wordsmithing. My Cheshire cat smile only grew and grew as I read through your comment. That's right, he is a man not worthy of anyone's effort. Hey gents, I'm hoping we can get some more comedy out of this post. Over 1 year out from D-Day, and the divorce from my cheating ex-wife. For those that know my saga, the ex-wife cheated with a twice divorced, serial cheater, who has somewhat of an age gap to her as well. As I also found out, the ex-wife had some cheating in her past relationship as well. I made a post in another forum about finally seeing the OMB prior to my daughter's party, and I just felt sorry. Frankly, they are both idiots. But 1 year ago, I thought the dude would have bailed, but nope, he is in it for the long haul. After 2 divorces, can someone really be this dumb to pursue a relationship with a woman that was actively cheating on her husband? I know water is wet, but I figured he would have bounced when the fun stopped. Anyways, I know I shouldn't be even giving this 1/2 of 1 ounce of thought. On my end, I'm pursuing some sweet hobbies. The online dating world has now become more fun and natural. And my kids and I are having a blast. I just keep thinking with the dating stuff, there is at least an opportunity to find a woman without a history of cheating, although there is still plenty of crazy out there. Why put all your chips on a serial cheater like the ex-wife? Don't worry fellas, she could be the last woman on earth. And I'd still rather choose a watermelon than her.
I think if your ex-wife cheated on her previous fiancé, her betrayal was inevitable. That's an enormous red flag, and it's a shame this information has remained hidden to you for many years. People like the old affair partner don't have rational thinking. He probably acts like a simp following every command, and puts your ex-wife on the pedestal while supporting her financially. I don't think he perceives that your ex-wife is a single mother who cheated on her husband, excluding the ex-fiancé before you. The dude probably thinks he is some kind of winner because he has a young girlfriend from another man. There is a high chance that your ex is already cheating on this clown, but she just hides it better and keeps the old fool as an ATM. I think your situation is much better because being a single dad is not a disadvantage. Another thing is, you can date a younger and prettier girl. That's another gut punch to your ex because it just shows that you can easily replace her with an upgrade on every level. Oh yeah, it hurts the female's ego super effectively. If the old dude leaves her, then she won't have a lot of options left for a serious relationship. I think healthy guys wouldn't date a woman who cheated on her husband, let alone with multiple kids.
Seeing how his second wife was a big step down from his first wife, I'm sure he thinks he is winning with the 10-year younger girlfriend. That also makes good money. I doubt this clown is supporting the ex-wife financially. I've got more info from the grapevine. He had to delay paying his second wife's child support last year because he rented a truck to go on a road party trip with the ex-wife. Just a clown show altogether. Financially wise, he's in the gutter. I learned from this whole thing that the ex-wife really doesn't think cheating is such a big deal. She has no shame. Either of them will cheat on the other, if not already. She sure has gone all in on this clown. You are right. No dude of any character looks at a woman that cheated on a previous partner and is like, yep, I'll invest in that.
I wanna have what she's having. Seriously though, your ex-wife might have some kind of mental defect. Cheating is a very serious thing. Religious folks believe if a married man or woman cheats, then that individual will go to hell. I mean, I'm not a super religious person, but the things that I've heard from people who had near-death experiences have changed my perspective on a lot of things. It's better to live an honest, truthful life. What I don't understand is why this dude keeps getting married. If he cheated on all of his previous spouses, the court favors women, so the ex-wives probably took him to the cleaners and made him pay child support and insanely high alimony. Maybe this guy is just a huge pushover simp, and he agrees with everything that your ex-wife says or does. If he always keeps agreeing with her and validates her, then it could create the best emotional connection. But it's only a facade. Maybe she couldn't control you, and that was the problem. Narcissists freak out when they lose control over somebody.
There is something wrong with her self-esteem. That is for sure. Along with her moral compass. I'm still puzzled, as her parents are decent people. So I'm not sure where this may have originated from. She really doesn't seem to show any shame about cheating though. And she'll continue to ask questions like, why do your parents seem weird around me? Or lately sending Christmas cards to people that are clearly my friends? She never sent out cards to these people specifically when we were together. It's just weird. Like she just doesn't get how serious it is. As for OMB, the dude is just a dummy. I'm gonna guess he has serious ego issues and hasn't learned the lesson in all of this, or his problems are likely due to him. I think your view of her not being able to control me is interesting. I'm not a type A person, but I do tend to follow my own way, and pushing back on the ex-wife was a constant theme during our marriage. That is a very interesting point. You are totally right. Any normal person would look at a woman who cheats on her husband and run full speed the other direction. Some people are just living in a fantasy land. All I say is, good luck to them. Hey everyone, have some advice to reach out about. As some of you advised me, I decided to fire up the dating apps. Had the usual crazy experiences, and some really good times. In the end, I met someone pretty cool, been enjoying the experience. Don't worry, I have no rose-colored glasses like I've seen posted before, where the betrayed spouse jumps in lovey-dovey. I have zero intention of cohabitating, marriage, anything of the sort. At least nothing serious short or even medium term, 2 to 5 years. Anyways, a couple months in, and even though so far it's been good, I've just got the feeling that I want my free time more than anything. After trying to balance this all out. I have a 50-50 split with my kids, so when I'm not with them, I feel like the new lady is taking up a good bit of my normal free time. She does not have kids, so her time management is a little bit more lax than mine. I'm more of the every minute is precious mindset, and I can tell it's starting to frustrate her. Not only that, I'm starting to see dates out and is becoming less equal on spending. And I've already had to call that out. It's not about the money now. I already have 2 kids, and don't want to support another person. I know the responses are going to be, she needs to understand, etc. I get that. Where my question lies is, why do I feel guilty? Why do I feel like I don't ever want to deal with this anymore? It just seems not right. But maybe it's just detoxing from being in a marriage for so long. Rant over, gents. Thanks as always for the great advice over the past year. It's been a huge help.
I'm staying single and celibate for 2 main reasons. I'm religious and don't believe in second marriages. Also, I just don't feel the juice is worth the squeeze, especially since I already have 2 kids. We tend to idealize marriage, and the dream we are sold is a lie. Reality is perhaps slightly better than being single, if everything works out perfectly. Kind of depends on the person. They work well as a team and enjoy their children. Otherwise, they aren't really any better off and have their annoyances and restrictions. Always have to answer to the other, especially husbands, have to check with the boss. There are many I thought were happy, and find out they almost divorced before. We all know if things get off track, just how bad they can be. I'm sure being single is better than half the marriages out there, and some marriages will downright ruin your entire life if they're really vindictive. Trying not to let the current ex do that. I may never own a home because of the stuff she's pulled, and the timing of it all with prices rising. That's despite making decent money. Could have bought a nice place a decade ago for myself. Looking back, I loved being a father, hated being a husband. I need time to recharge on my own, need time to relax and not always entertain or do stuff for her, etc. Never felt like I had enough space. Another big reason I wouldn't want to find anyone else is because I don't want to have to put my kids second for someone that's not their mom.
I hear you loud and clear on this. My whole experience has soured me greatly on marriage. And since I don't want any more kids, I see absolutely zero reason to tie the knot. Long-term thing, sure, why not? But if someone makes a vow and breaks it so easily, like the ex-wife simply stating she was unhappy BS, without real examples, then there is no reason to trust in marriage. You bring up a good point. I also look at friends and colleagues that are married, nobody seems happy. When you said, I need to check with the boss thing, cracks me up. Dude, you work and bring home the money, and help with the kids, so you can leave your house for a few hours. Not gonna lie, I got sucked into that too. And now that I have freedom, it's pretty sweet.
I'm the same way. Divorced a little over a year ago, can't seem to commit at all. I've met really cool women, some who I still keep in contact with. Maybe it's me. I enjoy only taking care of myself. I enjoy the thrill of seeing an attractive woman at the gym or at a bar, and that I have a chance, even though I have no clue where it ends. Maybe it hasn't been enough time, or the right person hasn't found me. I've often wondered when that will run out.
I'm in the same boat. met some cool women. But I'm not feeling like I need it all the time to feel complete. I am complete on my own. Which is a great thing. Oh well, just glad to know I'm not the only one.
Royal AI.
Hey gents, coming here to vent. To get this out to someone. And this group has always been a lifesaver. Now almost 1 year later, things are going good on all fronts, personally, professional, financially, kids, etc. I have to deal with the ex still. But I keep it cordial. Gray rocking her. Keep her out of my personal details, despite her attempts. It could be much worse. Friends and family are all in the know. On why I chose to divorce. The ex-wife keeps being delusional. Thinking her cheating wasn't bad. She clearly has no shame. Just by how she tries to act around me, ask about my family and still trying to fake a friendship, while parading OMB around at my daughter's party, etc. Well, this is a new one. Get ready. I checked my mail the other day and lo and behold, she sent me a Christmas card of her with the kids, and some glamour shots. I then get a call from one of my best buds, that he also got the same Christmas card and was like, why the actual F? I'm still waiting to get the same call from my parents. But holy crap, this is a new level of delusion. Anyways, I have not said anything to the ex, will not acknowledge or react, this is what I'm thinking is the goal. Just venting here, brothers, that is all. Anyone else have any stories of delusion?
You go, champ. Don't engage crazy. Gotta keep up the image that destroying her family wasn't the biggest mistake she's made. The mental gymnastics they go through to deny any wrongdoing is truly amazing. At least the old man wasn't in the photo with your kids. Now that, wow, probably would have been something else.
I was half expecting that to be when I got that envelope. That would have been quite something. If she really had the stones to do that.
I'll bet this was the first step in her getting there. First, the card to show. No hard feelings, right? I must be good, because we exchange Christmas cards. Then comes the next year card. With the guy, so she can gaslight and claim you're the one with the issue. All of a sudden. I hate their games.
I know it's coming. I keep getting calls from people. Wondering why the ex-wife is hanging out with her dad's friend. They know. But they want to hear me say it. Spill on everything. It's funny though. The only way to win is to not play the game. And I have not.
Let me guess. He's got some money?
Actually quite the opposite. Dude makes 1/3 of what I do in a good year, has 2 divorces under his belt, and drives a clapped out SUV. Just another scumbag. That knows how to talk to women with no self-esteem.
Ugh, bizarre. Oh, well, her loss. Maybe she's just got a big heart, and can't wait to push him around. In a wheelchair. Mark the card, return to sender, and put back in the post. Tell your parents to do the same.
Yes, this gave me a good laugh. Thank you. I love it. Appropriately enough of an FU without being overly explicit. Hi everyone. Almost 18 months ago, my future crumbled before me when I inadvertently discovered texts on my wife's phone that uncovered an affair with an industry coworker, the one I have described many times as OMB. Heartbroken and not knowing where to turn, I posted for the first time ever for help. And the rest is history. I have reached out many times since then, and as always, this community is gold and has helped me through an extraordinarily difficult time. I in turn have tried to offer the advice I got through my experience. And I will continue to do so. I thought 1 year after the conclusion of one chapter into another, official divorce and moving out, I'd give one update. As things have finally stabilized in this latest chapter. I will continue to offer advice, but I think I reached a point where I think I've learned and pulled what I can. And it's time to turn over that new leaf. I'll always post a juicy update when I can, but for now, I will mainly be here to help others through their journey. I have mentioned previously that I was in individual counseling. And I learned that life is full of seasons. And to have one full calendar of seasons. To process the life change and divorce. After my 4 seasons, my therapist and I had a parting to our normal sessions. And I now pop in every 6 months or so. She basically said I had reached a great spot. So advice number 1, find someone good to talk to and do the hard work. Also here with an update, a romantic one. So, about 5 months ago, I decided it was time, and fired up some apps just for fun. After a couple months of comedy, frustration, head shaking and some fun, well, I don't have that greatest love story ever just yet. Like OMB and the cheating ex. However, through the muck and wasted dates, I did meet someone. And we both had a great time going out and being spontaneous the past 3 months. It was a great adventure, and it really helped recover some of the confidence that was torpedoed by my ex. We had some personal and cultural bridges that couldn't be overcome. And in the end, we both recently parted ways like adults. Seeing other good people out there and ending something the right way has really helped me not paint the world all in black, so I am thankful for that. I'm probably going to take an extended break and let the world work its magic on its own. I needed to experience this and grow a little bit. No regrets there. I don't have too much else to add. My kids are doing fantastic through it all. At least I can say the ex-wife stays out of my business, and we can communicate cordially about the kids. I've had some lucky career and financial breaks this year, and my sanctuary, home, has come along beautifully. I'm sure you all want to know about OMB. Well, that hasn't imploded, and unfortunately permeates more and more into all this, with everything now Facebook official. My kids will every now and then mention him, which grinds my gears, but I just ignore it and ask them another question. I did get A, who is the uncle on her Facebook profile, questions a lot, which is hilarious. Honestly, I've stopped giving it any energy. Only here while giving you people the updates. 2 lying cheaters found each other. No great love story began by crushing another person. I pity 2 people that have to try to trust each other, knowing they can't. I'm truly surprised it's lasted this long, but I guess someone is looking for a 3rd divorce. I wish I had more of a juicy update, but sometimes progress is boring, and I like it. I think my final hurdle is still getting over the loss of my old family, meaning my in-laws. I went through this Christmas holiday without my usual traditions with them, and honestly, it hurt. This was a time of year that I held dear. I started some new ones, but it's been a learning lesson, watching people that were supposed to be there for you show their true colors. Oh well. Alright folks, that is all for now. Thank you all for getting me through the past year and a half. I am here for anyone that needs a kind word or advice. Cheers and Happy New Year, y'all. Hey everyone, I made a post about a month ago about feeling drained and not wanting a relationship anymore. You guys were gold as always. Well, 1 month later after feeling the drain, even though it was fun, I decided it was time to pull the plug. There were some other factors in play, where I didn't see it working long term. I was also starting to see some hints here and there of snarkiness, or small little disrespectful comments peppered in every now and then. Trusting my gut feeling, I had the let's talk moment the other day, and well, she didn't take it so hot and well, so we're parted. As a human, I feel bad being this strict, but at the same time I respected her time, and did the honest thing. At least I didn't cheat or anything like that. I had a day to think about it, and despite needing to go through this post-divorce relationship, I realized I shouldn't be so quick to give up my freedom. Have been talking with another divorced buddy last night. We both laughed that getting divorced is and has been a gift. 1 year later, finances are bulking up. So got a garage with all my toys. And for Christmas? I bought myself a bass guitar I always lusted over. And nobody was there to yell at me. Someone commented prior that I could have been entering the marriage wheel yet again. And that was spot on. I recognized the shocking signs. And I knew the result. So my gut was saying hop off. Anyways, just wanted to post you up. Remember that your freedom is precious, tread carefully. Happy New Year's. Hey gents, happy Sunday. Something in another thread triggered a thought, and I have had my gears turning all weekend. You ever heard the saying, everyone either is the sum total of your parents' values, or you do a complete 180 in your life from them? Seeing as my cheater ex-wife had to get her values from somewhere, I am trying to see if something at a root level caused her way of thinking. It's just so strange, as my in-laws seem to be good people with what looks like a decent marriage, but it's hard to see behind the curtain. The only thing I can see that now stands out is my ex-mother-in-law is extremely selfish, overall and with her time. Despite being a stay-at-home mom, I can count on one hand the times she came over to help, on her own, with kid duty, during times when the ex-wife and I were struggling with babysitters, both working professionals. I also see now how there is some entitlement going on there, as she demands to drive a luxury car, always goes out to restaurants, and my ex-father-in-law is still working going into his 70s. I remember my ex-wife and her brother said one time, "Well, Dad created that monster." That specifically has always stuck with me. Did you see red flags in your in-laws, specifically your ex-mother-in-law? Why I ask this question? Well, I'm still paused in the dating scene, but being realistic, someday I may dip my toe back in and just want to be able to recognize more red flags. Anyways, just wanted to get the discussion going. Thank you as always, gents. Hello everyone. After a little bit of a break these past few months, as I had a short-term thing going, I've decided to get back out there. I won't go into the X so much, but my plans to try and meet people more organically haven't been going so hot. In the meantime, meeting some of the new ladies has been a mixed bag. The one thing that is always a hot button topic is the old, "Well, why are you divorced?" line. For those of us here in this subreddit, I think we can all agree that going deep into the rabbit hole on a first date isn't comfortable. And I personally have the boundary of waiting until I'm a bit more invested and trusting the person before I divulge. Anyways, I've been playing it safe by just saying, the ex-wife and I had some issues that came along that we tried to work through. But in the end, after some counseling, we couldn't work through it, and it was best to separate for our kids' well-being. A couple of dates accused me of being secretive, and I was just shocked at hearing that. I did make the mistake of telling one date the truth right away, albeit in a way that I didn't seem bitter, just played it off as unexpected and moved on from the topic, but I could tell she immediately thought, there is obviously something wrong with this guy. I have a feeling she could have been a cheater, but still, it stung a bit. Lesson learned and move on. Anyways, I know those dates weren't my people, but it's still a hit to the confidence in some ways. I personally will stick to my boundary, but is there a right way to broach this without sounding damaged? I've honestly done the work. I have a great life now and things are so much better than 1.5 years ago. Thanks y'all for the advice.
If it comes up, I just say, she was a serial cheater, and move on from the subject. If that's an issue, then, oh well, good to get that out of the way quickly. Too old for games at this point, I try not to ramble off the entire story. That would take hours and hours, and isn't something most people want to hear about on a date regardless. Saying she was a cheater answers the question, and gives them all they need to know at the early stages. I'm honest, so they know the divorce wasn't due to my shortcomings, but rather that I was betrayed, and do not tolerate that treatment. I also may briefly mention the work I've done on myself since, mainly being in therapy. I don't want them to think I will come into a new relationship with trust issues.
Agreed. I'm too old to play games and you are right. If it's an issue, then better not to waste too much energy on it. This is a good one, I think. I too did the work and I have mentioned it to one prospect, and she seemed impressed I was able to dig deep. Hey y'all, thanks for all the voices of reason here. As I know my journey has helped some others, I like to and want to share as I progress through, and come to the other side. The final path to healing. Peace has been more consistent in my life. I've also had some setbacks in that area lately, as I have had to frequently see the ex-wife at many of my young children's extracurriculars. I keep cordial while keeping some distance, but after some reflection, I'm now seeing her schedule so many days of activities with the kids, as some way to keep control. She knows I'm only reactive when it's about the kids, and now it seems she is oversharing their planning. Veiled folks, I got a text on Wednesday saying,
Just a heads up, but your son wants OMB to join baseball.
Great. Well, we can't control others. And I didn't want to give her any ammunition, so I replied, "You do anything you want. Don't expect me to communicate with someone I don't respect." Boom. Done. 2 whole years later, and now I sit 10 feet away from the guy. There you have it. I finally got a chance to see the dynamic at play between my ex and OMB. As many of you folks have commented on previous posts, he is indeed simping hard. Going all out to prove himself, to please someone who I know will never be happy with what she has. The dude couldn't even look at me. Just hilarious. It's the party incident all over again. I noticed his nervousness was off the charts. I sat back, joked with my former father-in-law, and just savored this beautiful moment internally. By the way, the former in-laws have been very friendly and more helpful lately. Despite not sleeping well the night before in anticipation of this, I felt nothing but sorry for those two, and I was able to sit through till the end of the event. Said goodbye to my former in-laws, my kids, they stayed with mom, got into my sports car, smiled and drove away. It was how I really felt, just free of any negativity. Is this what indifference feels like, folks? Small extra update. I wanted to mention one more piece of info, pretty interesting. My former in-laws joined my son's sports to cheer him on. They have always been the friendly and cordial type. If not, a little stiff, if that makes sense. My ex couldn't join earlier this week, but the in-laws did, and they were way more outgoing, joking, and dare I say, like pre-divorce. We had a blast. Like many of you have told me, the ex had put them on red alert about me, but they aren't buying it. I get it now. Just another check mark on my way to healing.
I'm proud of you, OP. You have survived the atomic blast by her and are doing much better now. They are trying hard to make it look like they are a happy couple, but my guess is, in private, they are bitter. She will never forget or forgive herself for what she has done. Continue to laugh internally and enjoy your father-in-law's company. That tells me he does not support what his daughter has done. Karma's coming for them, OP. Enjoy your sports car and take care.
Appreciate your reply. I try not to give it much energy to think what they are thinking. But happy people don't need to advertise. And great relationships are not built on the suffering of others. I'll keep an eye out for karma, but I won't wait for it for sure. And yeah, I know the father-in-law is in a tough position because it is his daughter. But the fact he has been cordial and friendly isn't lost on me. I know many others have it way worse, so I'll take it. Gotta take any and all blessings as they come. Cheers.
We all know your kid wasn't the one asking for his mom's boyfriend to be at the game, right? I'm glad you're able to maintain a healthy relationship with your in-laws. That's healthy for the kids. I'm sure it makes her upset, especially since OMB doesn't have the same kind of relationship, and she'll take it out on him. You're doing an excellent job. Grey Rock is your friend. She wants control so badly. You can taste it. Show no emotion around her, and then find your outlet when she's not around.
Glad you mentioned it. I saw through it as soon as she sent me the text. She knows my weak point is my kids, but I wasn't going to give her the emotional response she wanted. I know my kids are always watching, so I want to model what I can to show them how unhealthy adult acts. I know it has to be grinding my ex's gears to see me so calm and rational. Thank you. My outlet has been lifting weights and boxing. For sure it's helped me deal with some of the stress of all this.
Hey OP, let me tell you that you rock, man. It seems that after the party incident and other things you mentioned last year, your ex-in-laws seems to like you more than OMB. Even when at first you thought they might be moving on too fast. Seems that here applies what my brother always said, no one knows what they got until they don't have it anymore. Nice that you are slapping the cheaters with a white glove while simultaneously being with the kids when it matters, showing them you care about their stuff. With all this good, there's also the bad. Your ex-wife is always trying to make OMB fit where he doesn't belong. It's uncomfortable for everyone. But hey, who cares? She may be trying to make you uncomfortable, but do not let her get away with her way. The micromanaging type filled with delulu tendencies can become dangerous when you drop your guard. Little tip from my darkened heart. Whenever that guy speaks to you, for example, when saying goodbyes after an event, and when the ex-in-laws aren't there, respond to OMB when your ex is within hearing proximity and say, "Thank you. You have made my life better by picking up my trash." Or give it your spin would be awesome. Well, I see you are doing great, and like always, best wishes, man.
Thank you, sir. I've always appreciated your well-thought-out responses. Oh, for sure. She has been trying real hard since December to make him fit in, and even texted me out of the blue that he is great with kids and wants to support them. Yep. Great guy for breaking up a family. Please let me know how much he will put in my kids' college fund. I know she has been taking him to all sorts of family events, but word has gotten back that they see him as an unwelcome clown. No worries. I have a great life, and I can't wait to see where it leads me. Oh, taking out the trash? I was thinking of saying something along those lines, but I got in my car, looked at them, saw him standing by her car, overthinking, adjusting his moves while trying to please her, while she was all over the place. Then decided it wasn't worth it. The karma bus is going to hit so hard, without me driving it.
Yeah, OMB doesn't belong in this space. I wonder if this is an artificial hole that the ex-wife is creating. Go on, OMB, go and join in with the baseball. It'll be good bonding. In the meantime, this'll give me a few hours without you and the kids all to myself. Wonder how I'll fill it? Apologies, that's their drama though, and nothing to do with you, OP. Keep on going strong.
There is going to be one day in the future where that guy is going to be the one at home, and she will be at hotel somewhere, cheating on the next one. I may feel sorry for him when he finally gets a taste of the chaos he helped be a part of. Maybe I'll get him a sympathy card.
Reading your posts, it always felt like your ex's relationship with OMB was uneven. Let's face it, he moved into your old place, but doesn't own it. That isn't good for any relationship. Did your son want OMB at baseball? Or did your ex as a show of a happy family to everyone? Their whole relationship sounds like it has a shelf life, but it's expired already. He will never own it. Your ex sounds too controlling to allow him a stake. I think you've got more wins in the past and future. I honestly think you should write a book about your experiences. You have a great writing style.
So far that slug hasn't moved in officially, but I know he has to be eyeing it. I poured a ton of money into renovation and landscaping a few years back, and damn it, that place was nice. Lesson learned there. My ex sent the text, saying my son wanted him there, but we all know it was all on her. I know my kids like him, but I know my son would rather have me there most of all. Thank you. I've always had a way with words, but went into a totally different field. I have thought about it but wondered how I could remain anonymous, yet still earn something. I think my experience just by itself could be a roadmap.
Rejoice in the knowledge that she must be under huge amounts of stress trying to make her new relationship a success. Even if she's miserable in it, she'll smile and fake it when in public. It's like they need to ensure their affair was for a good reason, and that they didn't blow up their first family for just a sloppy fling. Enjoy sitting back and watching.
I hate to gloat in this fact, but my ex-wife has put on quite a bit of weight this past year. I know the added stress has been the reason, no doubt about it. At this point, I'm just sitting back and taking it all in.
Damn, I wish I was half the man you are. From when we split, I thank the Lord daily that we never had kids. This would be my personal nightmare, but the way you handled it is exceptional. My only thought is, stay tight with the in-laws during these events. It will make it even harder for him to settle into his role as the new guy. Even if he doesn't show, it will weigh on him. I'm glad you're in a better place and that you're doing well. How are you on the dating front?
I have been respectful and friendly with the in-laws since the beginning. They are still good people and they are human. And I know they care about their daughter too, but also know the struggle in all of this. I have simply tried to show through my actions that whatever story she has tried to sell is total BS. And keeping calm and in control is my way to show my resolve. I have to imagine that OMB has to take notice, and even though his ego probably doesn't care, he will eventually see all the BS my ex-wife sold him was just that. Dating front? It's been a case of ups and downs trying to get back in the game, but I have been seeing someone for a month now. We are taking it slow, and she has some similar circumstances she has gone through. I knew she was worth taking more time to know, as I have told her my saga, and she has been very caring and understanding. I have had a few dates where the women literally judged me, and then ghosted, without bothering to ask more. Good riddance. Just going to take this one day at a time and see where it goes.
The grandparents are concerned mainly about their interests and welfare for their grandchildren. You have given them the best-case scenario, more than they could ever hope for. I am sure they are thankful and have a greater appreciation of you than at the time of the separation. Actions speak louder than words. In real life, it's more important to be the workhorse, like you. The show horses are the X and POS, with their shiny bells and fake tricks.
Great observation. Despite all that went down, the kids' stuff has been smooth and 99% of the time is drama-free between the ex-wife and I. It's not lost on me. The irony of my ex-wife telling stories about her female coworker who got divorced, and was a monster to deal with during the whole process. Thinking back to hearing her talk about the drama that happened there, I hope she realizes that even in divorce she has it great. Likely not, I'm still probably the bad guy in all this. Well folks, didn't think I would be back so soon after the last post. But here I am for some venting. I was driving my daughter to school this morning, and she said,
"Hey Daddy, I have 2 daddies now. Mommy said that Mr. OMB is our second daddy."
Good Lord, blood pressure through the roof. Seeing as my daughter is still too young to really understand any of this, I deflected and just said, "Sweetie, there is only one mommy and one daddy, but there can be other people that can care about you. Trust me when I say, I wanted to puke spitting out those words, but it's for her well-being. It's just disgusting to tell a 4-year-old she has 2 daddies. Are you kidding me? So far I have resisted to blow up my ex's phone, and I'm just going to chill today, but I'm shaking my head yet again. Is this even worth having a conversation about? My ex is so hard-headed on making family 2.0, that she is going to disregard anything I say, call me controlling, then declaring that OMB is a model human being and father. Then she'll double down online to post on social media how awesome her life is. Because she will take great pleasure in finally finding my trigger point. Rant over. Thanks again, y'all.
I always get a kick out of you calling the affair partner OMB. Think I will recall that for a long time. Your assessment is correct about X trying to make family 2.0 with OMB. She is trying to convince the world she has a normal family unit, while minimizing the destruction of her original family with you. Last resort damage control. For someone who lacks integrity, accountability, and is selfish above anything. My guess is she secretly regrets her actions, but can't take them back. Continue to be the great father you are to your daughter. In time, she will understand the true dynamics of her life. It will be rough to swallow while she grows up, and shameful. But she knows you are the stable parent, and will love and respect you for it. Continue to enjoy your life, and please provide updates when you can. Take care of you and your daughter.
Oh yeah, I'm never gonna stop calling that turd OMB. I'll find some way to engrave that on his gravestone. Appreciate the comments as always. I'm doing my best to be the island of stability for my daughter and son. That is all I can do.
It won't get you anywhere to confront your ex. Like you said, it gives her back control to know she can upset you. Continue using guerrilla warfare as much as possible. Take your anger out in the gym or whatever other outlet you have. Don't even give the ex the satisfaction.
It took me some time to learn this, but I think I'm there. I know once I fully disengage from that, I can no longer be what those two triangulate over, and sooner or later, they will turn on each other. This does give me good fuel for my boxing and lifting.
I wonder what your ex will say when there is a second mummy coming around. Would love to read that update, but until then, keep being awesome, man. Wish you the best.
Oh, I can imagine there will be a double standard. The day that goes down. Funny you say this, I actually was out and about with my new Latin lady, and ran into my ex-wife's best friend at a store past weekend. So far my phone hasn't blown up, but I had to imagine that her best friend got word to my ex. About 3 nanoseconds after we parted ways. I resisted the urge to say anything negative. Just said hello. This is so and so. And wished her well.
Yup, 100%. Psycho ex-wife was triggered. This is why your ex told your daughter. She has 2 daddies. Your ex's friend reported to her instantly that you have a girlfriend, of course with specifics. She has done this instead of blowing up your phone. This is proof that you're successfully gray-rocking your ex. It must devastate her that you have moved on and won't even give her any information. About a new lady love? This is too good. Has your girlfriend met your children, or is it still too early?
Oh my God. Great insight. It made me think. And now I'm smiling. I'll respond a little more later. But thank you so much for this insight. This is why I love this forum. No. She is not. And we agreed to wait a little while, as we want to get to know each other. I'm happy she and I are on the same page.
Imagine how the ex will react when OP does. Latin people love kids, and OP's girlfriend will be all over his kids. His daughter especially will be talking about her nonstop. That's 2 mummies. Right back at ya.
That's exactly one huge thing. That only adds to her attractiveness to me. She loves kids. Her cooking rocks also. And she knows how important family is. I'm gonna crack up when my kids are speaking Spanish. And call OMB a pinche pendejo.
Royal AI.
Hey y'all. Rocking out to the free world as always. No big update to the Chronicle series just yet. Living life, enjoying summer and moving forward. I just wanted to reach out for the gold opinions. I think no need to rehash my progress. It's darn near 2 years since D-Day at this point. And I look back at all the stuff I accomplished since being served that crap sandwich. A juicy update will be in order for the future. But for now, just wanted to get some advice. As I have updated previously, the turd, known as Old MB, is more and more a part of my kids' lives. Can't change it. Whatever. Moving on. I keep my distance from the ex. She is like a bank teller at this point in my life. And I got my own thing going too. Still, it's hard not to get a little triggered when my kids mention old Gramps is invited to some common event. Again, put on my sunglasses, my best outfit, rock out and ignore the turd. Thankfully it's only been one time at this point. The ex is trying very, very hard to make it look legit. Apparently the SM feed is non-stop, heard from some perplexed friends. But I no longer have a front or rear row view of this. And I keep my eye on my own adventures. My question is this. It still gets the pulse and stress going, knowing I have to be in the same room as that guy. Whenever the kids say, "Hey daddy, OMB is coming to my event thing," I think this feeling is normal. However, I have had several people tell me that I shouldn't be triggered. And I need to move on. That I'm harboring something unhealthy? Seriously? And I need to get over it. And get used to them. These are also from people who haven't been cheated on as well. Anyways, just wanted to hear from those that have actually gone through this. You think I'm being unreasonable to feel this way? I assure everyone, I'm not at all waking up or going to sleep with thoughts of anything about those 2 clowns. And I'm legit much happier with life at this point. Yes. I know a lot of comments will be, your ex-wife was the one you should be mad at, not her affair partner. I treat her like a bank teller for a reason. I'm just taken aback lately with these types of comments flooding in. They really seem lacking any empathy. Thanks y'all.
You have no obligation to treat him any way other than a turd, known as Old Man B. Yeah, your ex wronged you the most, but he was instrumental in your betrayal, and the reason why you're seeing your children less. Both of them are at fault, and strange as it might seem, you are capable of being mad at two people at the same time. Yes, you cannot control what happens on your ex's side, and you shouldn't be starting any fistfights, but you don't have to be hold hands and play tag with OMB to co-parent with your ex. People who say crap like this are brain dead. They didn't pay any attention to reality and live in a bubble. Like you said, the people throwing these comments out have no idea the grief, loss, and trauma of it all. When it's hypothetical, it's all forgiveness this. Everyone makes mistakes that. In their heads, they would act with magnanimity. They would, of course, sigh at the losses and act with divine grace, giving their blessing to this outsider usurping their position. They have the freedom to think this because they believe, like most people here once believed, that it will never happen to them. When you're living it, and you've unjustly felt all those awful emotions and had your family, your life, and your love permanently altered because of someone else's selfish actions, people tend to feel a bit differently. Especially if this person is now a step-parent to their children, roaming freely around the kids in their old home, not house, their home. Keep doing what you're doing, all the best.
He is a turd. You owe him nothing, but your disgust. Just don't say anything that is detrimental or even embarrassing for the kids. You can feel however you want to feel about a pair of cheaters who imploded your life. Oh yes, I have been cheated on, us betrayed. Should never accept anyone telling us to move on and stop thinking about it. We're surviving. We're already the heroes of our own story, even if the garbage tried to ruin us.
Totally agree with both here. I feel like people telling us to minimize or move on truly don't understand, and they themselves don't want to feel our discomfort. F that. Perfectly put into words what I couldn't. Absolutely spot on. Hey everyone, back here after taking an extended break and living it up for the summer. Time flies when you are having fun, and amazingly, it's been 1 year now since I asked to this group advice on my daughter's birthday. Backfiring her attempt at working on her image management was gold to me. You people shared this with me. The ultimate bait and switch. And I laugh at the result every single time I think of it. Some don't know what OMB means. Well, I think commenters can help with that one. What a hidden gem of a man. Since that was such an amazing set of posts, with everyone's help, I thought I would reach out again. But this time with a slightly different twist. As background, once again, the ex-wife is throwing her "Hey look at OMB and I birthday bash" for my daughter, complete with her family, crappy co-workers who knew of her cheating, and some of my daughter's friends thrown in the mix. The greatest emotional love connection of all time is in full steam with OMB, full on Facebook official since Christmas time. I guarantee the greatest 2-time, soon to be 3 times, ex-husband and father of all time will be there in attendance to bless us mere peasants. My daughter has been asking me if I will attend this year, and now, 2 years later, I think I'm in a much better headspace to attend. I got this. I'm doing this all for my daughter, but why not have a little fun for myself? With that being said, I have a rope-a-dope I am thinking to pull. I made a post some time back regarding my daughter saying she had 2 daddies. Some of you excellent followers of my story accurately pointed out this was a result of my ex-wife getting word of a new lady in my life. They're her best friend. Bingo. As an update, said lady friend and I have been proceeding slowly ahead. While I must add, our relationship is moving appropriately and healthily forward into the right direction. She will meet my kiddos very soon. Well, I'm thinking now it's time for my grand reveal. That being said, just throwing it out there to ask if it's too petty or if it's even appropriate. Hear me out, then feel free to drop it on me. As for the twist, well, I'm only going to RSVP as myself attending, with no heads up. It's only appropriate, given the amount of respect I was shown by those two cheaters. Anyways, like last year, updates to come, as I'm sure heads will roll. Thank you all again.
You should be the gentleman that you are and ask your ex if her daughter's second mommy can come. Just a vengeful thought, though.
Your posts are too entertaining. What you are suggesting is ruining the party for your ex and OMB. Turning up with your Latina girlfriend will take away the attention from your wife and OMB. So obviously, you should do it. However, make sure you introduce your girlfriend to your kids first. Remember, at the end of the day, it is your daughter's big day. Don't take the attention away from your daughter. Take your girlfriend if your daughter is happy. I'll say this again too. Who actually invites co-workers to their child's birthday party?
I'm still thinking about the advice you gave me to write a book. I have some ideas and just need to kick myself into gear. I'm totally in agreement with you. This would not be the right time to surprise my daughter with a new friend, so introductions will have to take place soon. Just knowing how the new lady is with kids, I suspect my daughter will take to her quick. But who knows? I want to be careful. I think you went to the wrong place if you want people to tell you not to do it. Fun fact regarding the coworkers of the ex. 2 of them went through particularly nasty divorces in the past year. One of them had his ex-wife in an open relationship that she particularly got run through pretty well. Call this petty, but I'm actually looking forward to rubbing chunks of Himalayan salt in that wound.
Just make sure you aren't doing this in a way that will make either your daughter or the new girlfriend uncomfortable. If you had no baser motivations for bringing your girlfriend to your daughter's birthday, would you still be doing it? The worst thing you could do is make your girlfriend feel that she is only there to rub your relationship in the face of you ex-wife. You risk looking petty to everyone involved and messing up your new relationship in the process.
Yes. At this point, with so much time passing by, I'd still bring a partner with a support, but also to join for this special event. I totally agree. First and foremost, this is my daughter's party, and her feelings come first. On top of that, even if my daughter wants the new lady to come with, ultimately, it will be up to the new lady to feel comfortable to join as well.
Sir, you have no need to be considerate of your cheating ex or OMB. You do need to be considerate of your daughter's feelings, though, first and foremost. This isn't just about how she feels about a second mommy or her coming to the party. It's also about not having a dynamic with your ex that will negatively impact your daughter. You also owe it to your new partner to consider her feelings on this matter. Some partners like being strutted around as the upgrade to the ex, while it gives others the ick. Be sure to give your new lady a heads up. Like everyone outside of your daughter are adversaries, and it would be nice to have someone who is an adult on your side. Finally, you owe it to yourself to operate with integrity, dignity, and class regardless.
Totally agree with your last line. I know my post initially may seem that this is purely a revenge fantasy. But as with anything, there is always careful consideration, especially for my little girl. I wouldn't do anything to ruin her special day. That being said, if the time is right for things to align all while giving the ex and OMB a little white glove slap, I'm all for it. Oh, as for the new lady, she knows my whole saga and the issue with the last birthday. She actually brought this up, that she would wholeheartedly support me to go if I needed it. So, it's definitely not hurting her feelings to be brought in. To be honest, she has brought it up many times about wanting to join or even throw a party and be dressed to kill. It is kind of what inspired me to ask. But she is a tough little Latina. Your last comment is spot on. My fear last year was being the black sheep by myself, which is a big part on why I didn't attend. It would be nice to have an ally on my side. For sure.
Hey, OP, I would go further, like I said before. and go up to your ex-wife and say, hey, maybe your daughter will have 2 mommies? How about that?
If I had to guess outward, she won't show any emotion. But internally, she will be seething. Won't be so nice when the shoe is on the other foot.
I'm thinking you'd be better off just bringing yourself to your child's birthday this year. Give your new relationship a year to mature before you stage this dance-off. It really sounds like you're getting sucked into the who's the better new couple competition. It may be fun on Reddit to imagine how bringing your new flame will go. Keep your good thing private for another year, letting it take on a timeline of its own. Not trying to force it into the convenient revenge timeline of your daughter's birthday. You sound a bit too excited about the revenge angle. Just drop it. You'll preserve your good thing from the prying eyes of your cheating ex, who will just try to spoil your relationship, just cause she is a selfish, narcissistic cheating, wet blanket and probably doesn't want to see you happy. Make her wonder what you're up to for another year. My opinion, though.
Hey Redditor, great comments here and partially why I enjoy Reddit. To turn the mirror on myself. Yes, there is a tinge of, let's take a little opportunity here for some petty. Not gonna lie, last year particularly stung to miss my daughter's party, on account of everything that went down. I know, it's my daughter's birthday, and that should be the focus. The way I see it, things have moved on for me and in a way, it's time for me to shine a little. I do want to make clear, again, that anything I would do would first requires my daughter meeting the new lady. It was on the timeline to meet my kids soon anyways. If my daughter doesn't like it, I would not bring my +1. Anyways, I always appreciate these kind of comments that get me to think a bit. I try to look at things from every angle. And this is one of those. Thank you.
Do you know what your daughter thinks about your Latina? Daddy-daughter dynamic is different than daughter-mother dynamic. It may be challenging for a little girl to share her daddy, so she may not approach your girlfriend as amicable as she approached OMB. That is why maybe it would be better to arrange their meeting before the birthday party. If everything goes smooth, you may bring your gorgeous Latina to the birthday. I always imagined your girlfriend as a fierce and a no-nonsense type, so I am 100% sure she can handle the situation like a champ. You're sure she's willing to come? I hope she is, because I kinda think that she may even enjoy to rattle your ex's feathers.
I don't know what to expect with my little lady, but I will take caution and make sure first meetups go well. As for the Latina, oh yeah, she is spicy. She actually suggested going to the party, or even throwing a bash of our own and inviting the ex-wife, to show how Latin folks throw real parties. I have to give her credit, she is tiny, but tough.
What is going on with the references to your girlfriend's ethnicity? Don't you find it a bit odd that you are objectifying her in this way? Tough little Latina, the Latina. Or when you say, the Latina, oh yeah, she's spicy. I'm sure you didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to point that out. Having said that, enough time has passed and your ex knows she exists anyway, so there shouldn't be a problem. Your ex has to know that you would eventually move on with your love life. Turnabout is fair play.
No harm meant. Honestly. It's how she talks about herself and it's rubbed off on me. Good point though. Not my intention to objectify, but now it stands out.
Thank you for not being offended. I was a bit hesitant to mention anything because I knew you had good intentions. I think the best solution is to host your own party for the daughter. That would be a great opportunity for the new girlfriend to meet her. If they get along, then she is going to tell your ex about the new girlfriend. It's a bigger gut punch to your ex, since she never met this wonderful new woman, and now her daughter is going to talk about her. Make sure to host a great and memorable birthday party for her. You can create a much more fun and interesting party, and she is going to talk about it for a long time. If I were you, then I wouldn't go to the party that your ex-wife is having for the daughter, and I wouldn't bring the new girl with me either. If I remember correctly, you said that one of your ex-wife's female friends saw you with the new girlfriend. If this happened, then I can assure you, that the female friend filled your ex's head with a bunch of BS. Things like how much hotter your ex is than your new girlfriend. It's typical. They're all 10s in their own circle. In reality, when a woman sees her ex with a younger, prettier woman, it's a huge ego punch to us women. It hurts immensely because the lost spouse got a huge upgrade and they have to live with their shitty affair partners.
Great stud stuff here. Just an update. But earlier this week, I had the new lady meet my kids for a nice dinner at a place my kids love. It went better than expected and they really took a liking to her. No way was I gonna intro her at my daughter's party in enemy territory. This went so well, they wasted no time the next day in telling mom about how awesome she was. I saw my ex during my daughter's extracurriculars where I also attended. She was noticeably upset or irritated, but couldn't mention anything towards me, because she set the precedent with OMB. I agree with you, and after taking all the comments in from this thread, I decided what to do on her coming birthday. I'm simply gonna make an early hello alone to my daughter, give her a gift and be on my way. I'll then have a pretty spectacular next weekend getaway with them all, and focus my energy there.
You did the exact right thing, introducing your kids to your new romantic interest on neutral territory. You know your ex is now seething with jealousy. Her actions and illusions have been skewed to keep you as Plan B, and she now sees that possibility going down in flames. She is now worried about your new romantic interest being more loved than herself. The shoe is now on the other foot. I now feel that most of us agree with your approach to deliver your gift with an early hello and let it go at that. You had us concerned for a while.
Hello all, I'm back in action with a promised update. Just as a short reminder to get up to speed. I posted last month that it was 1 year after the rope-a-dope I pulled for my daughter's birthday, which had the affair partner eating the poop sandwich that was meant for me. I was debating on how birthday 2.0 could go, and reached out for advice. Well, update in a second. I want to give a quick background update, since it will help with setting some additional context. I revealed previously there's a new lady in my life, and things were progressing steadily and organically. I was debating to bring her to the party as part of my grand reveal, but after some thought and many of the excellent comments here, I easily concluded that would not be appropriate for my lady, even though she was totally supportive. Also, it would have been a distraction for my daughter's special day, and could reek of pettiness. It was not the right venue. However, I'm happy to say that I chose to first introduce her to my kids, only. Do so at their favorite restaurant. So I did one evening, and things went amazingly well. We followed up by having a common event with all of our kids, and then some more and well, more success. Finally, my girlfriend and I took a much needed, all-inclusive beach trip and had an amazing time. All I can say is, I couldn't help that some romantic pictures made their way to social media, and the rest is history. 3 days later the ex-wife was asking,
So, you have something to tell me.
So, that's all that was left to say, and now you're up to speed for the real update. On the day of my daughter's birthday, I went solo to the party, present in hand and ready to rock. Sure, I was stressed to hell wondering how it would go down. But I showered, dressed well, put on some nice cologne and strutted on over. Smiling like a crazy person the whole way. I simply strolled into the backyard, walked right past OMB and his parents, and was greeted with,
Daddy!
As my daughter and son sprinted over, and jumped on me like a collection of rhesus monkeys. I then had my former in-laws darn near sprinting out to come over and give hugs and greetings, with my former mother-in-law profusely thanking me on the side for coming to the party. Honestly, I was shocked in a way, because of the reception being this warm. It was almost like any other day, and my former ex-in-law aunts and uncles came right up to me, making jokes and talk men stuff. Surprising, though pretty cool actually. I just ignored oldie OMB, didn't even make a comment or face, and went person to person greeting and cracking jokes. Finally, once my daughter had cake, I excused myself, said my goodbyes and rolled off into the sunset, smiling my way back home. I concluded the night by eating out with my girlfriend and good friends. And that was that. So, thank you to those that commented previously and gave good advice to consider. Once again, the high road paid off, and despite my stress and nerves prior to the party, I grinned and bore and came out victorious. Not gonna lie, it felt pretty good, and sure, I can see OMB as somewhat tolerated. But I think it's just that, tolerance, not acceptance. I have to imagine it ate him inside to see me greeted like I was. But you know what? I'm finally done wondering about any of this, and feeling ready to move on and conquer what else lay ahead. Cheers, everyone.
Hey there, OP, nice update. You did show him the difference between being tolerated to being appreciated. It seems that the in-laws, for what you told last year's post, learned to appreciate you more after all of this circus your ex-wife caused. But like always, you have been the better human. Nice to hear that things are going great with your new Latin girlfriend and that your kids like her. Wish you the best in this new relationship. Also, if it's not indiscretion, what did you tell your ex-wife when asked about something to tell her? I ask because I can clearly imagine you laughing upon getting her reaction, even while you wrote it down here to update us.
No problem. I got asked the usual 20 questions. What's her last name, occupation, kids, etc. I answered the bare minimum, which seemed to unnerve her. Then got the,
"This is someone that will be around our kids. I deserve to know."
I simply replied, I understand completely. I just wish I got the same courtesy when Old Man Balls was invited into our home while I was out of town. That was the end of that conversation. LOL. White glove slapped her back into reality with her double standards. Right through her entitlement.
Oh wow, do you actually call him Old Man B to her in regular conversation?
Oh no, I do limit it when I'm actually talking to her. I limit it to Gramps, dickhead and dipshit with her. OMB is reserved only for this forum.
You did things the right way. There is so much desire for revenge and to be petty, even sometimes at the expense of the little ones. Kids just want to love mom and dad, regardless of the infidelity. You played it perfectly and prioritized their wants and needs while not having to cede any control to her. You're doing an excellent job of navigating a difficult situation and ensuring your children's happiness.
Appreciate it. I had some time to think about how I wanted this to play out, and I just thought, no use in being petty and looking like I'm a sore loser. Quiet strength rules the day, and hopefully one day, my kids know the full story and appreciate what I try and do for them to make sure they are happy.
Nicely played, OP. You are my hero for the day. Please continue the updates and take care of the wonderful woman you found and those great kiddos.
Thank you. Doing my best every day.
Thanks for the update. Her family thought that they had lost your valued friendship and loyalty because of their association with your ex-wife. Now they are overjoyed and happy that this is not the case. Without you, they are forced in an uncomfortable situation of shame. But when you came to the party, it's like you're the beacon of light and positivity. Her family knows the score, but is limited in how they socially interface under the changed circumstances. They also think about the kids. Beautiful thing is, it's lights out for the Zero Honor Weasel. You got the hero's welcome, while OMB stands on the sideline with his hot dog in his hand.
Yup, exactly. I know they walk a precarious line because it's their daughter and blood. But given all that has happened, I'm happy they still treat me well. And I know they would help me if I really need it.
Awesome update. As much as I would have loved to hear about you bringing your new partner to the party, it shows once more how great of a father you are. If it goes well, there will be an even better opportunity in the future to introduce her. As for your ex, you served that line very well.
I mean, she's got quite the audacity to say she deserves to know. Next time your ex-wife asks about the new girlfriend, then simply tell her, she looks better, cooks better, and even fucks better. Can't wait for the next update, and until then, you still rock. Wish you the best.
Wow, yeah. Well, I think I don't have to say that. She will definitely see it, without me trying, by the smile on my face. Thank you. There will be a better opportunity and more appropriate time for the new lady and ex to cross paths. I'll for sure have an update at that time.
Royal AI.
That brings us to the end. So far. This story took a lot of time before I could present it to you, so apologies for the later upload, friends. What would you advise OP? Let us know in the comments. You like the way these stories are brought to you? If so, I got you covered. More like this on my channel. Thank you for staying till the end. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode. See you in the next one.